second time I read that out loud. And I did send it to my son, and he sent me a text back saying, "You have nothing to be sorry about. I love you." And that was it. Okay, one more, and by the end of this, you'll know who it's for. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay. Okay. Whew. You are wise, you are kind, one in the world to find. You are happy, you are true. Words of wisdom, like you, there are very few. Words of wisdom fly from your mouth like the leaves of the fall from the trees that they grew. Always smiling, arms always open to those who are feeling like they aren't just coping. You are the one of the best people I have ever met. Always helping out others, throwing out the net. In a world that is hard, cruel, and sad, having you as a friend makes me less mad. The lyrics and soul flowing from your being makes me smile, makes me laugh, as it always filled with faith and feeling. You make me want to be a better person, always pushing me when I am falling back. That is what makes you a special human. There could be no truer of a fact. And just to mention this little tidbit, to the Harry Sound guy, who are like very few, this poem better be seen in the Boo Paisley Notebook, Volume 2. Happy birthday, Scott. Okay, I'm done.
Is it your birthday, Scott? Or did
After a couple weeks. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're celebrating. All month long we're celebrating. So.
Sounds good.
Happy birthday.
Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Happy birthday,
Mr.
Scott.
President. Oh, sorry. I lost myself for a moment. What the hell? Russ, save me.
Can't save you from your own Marilyn Monroe.
You're on your own.
I gotta work on it.
Yeah, practice.
Right? Thanks for the short people that put the mic in the right place. So, Chris, one of the things I love about what you've shared over these years, and thank you for your service as Poet Laureate, is those times when you do those little weird things, like you were using the toilet and overhearing other conversations, or on the bus, or wherever, in really mundane, weird places. And I like doing that too sometimes. It feels really strange to be a surveilling poet or whatever. Didn't have my notebook at the time that I heard all this, but it was just like, wow, is this all really coming out of this? So I'm gonna try and listen. The woman in the green sundress passively whistles idlewise. She punctuates the pauses of recognizable scraps of melody with outbursts and exchanges aimed at her debate partners. Oh, Santa Claus, did you bring me a new place? No? Well, that ain't good enough. Sans Bluetooth or phone to ear. Addressing her interlocutor. I'm not using the law of attraction? Huh? Yeah, I guess I keep attracting what I don't want. Sans Bluetooth or phone to ear, skyward her eyes pierce through rock star sunglasses to interrogate the machine elves in the platform roof, or God himself. You're slowing down time again, as her eyes fix on the digital marquee. Who needs cable? Just wait for a bus. This didn't have a title until tonight, and I think this is probably a good title. And I wish Mike G were here. I've missed him. I don't know if he's been around.
He was here last month.
And it's the times that I'm not here. Listen. Mike G and I in simpatico inquire of one another in the grand schema. Then we talk tangentially of tears. In unison, we start to sing. Don't cry out loud, just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. We stop, self-censoring abruptly, knowing, speaking about how this song doesn't serve the greater good. Then I start a different song. Little child, dry your crying eyes. How can I explain the fear you feel inside? 'Cause you were born into this evil world where man is killing man and no one knows just why. Mike approves of this song in contrast to the other. I segue into my theory regarding certain events in the world. The violent events, macabre outbursts, though they have happened before, seem to be increasing in frequency. These events, according to my gut, are something transcendent of the crises of the individual perpetrators, some kind of expression of a global consciousness collectively in fear of flux, a reaction to eschatological ennui. The break is ending, the open mic resumes, the nature of our conversation stays with me, echoing along with me into sleep. I wake to the commentator of the breaking news blitz. The children are crying. I feel the lyrics of that song tugging at me. I know I need to Google the lyrics. "'Cause you were born for all the world to see, that we all can live with love and peace. No more presidents, and all the wars will end. One united world under God. When the children cry, let them know we try. 'Cause when the children sing, then the new world begins." I almost broke there. I put in a lot of activist fears, and I got so tired and so overwhelmed. And so Occupy came, and I had to be an armchair supporter. I put my time in. Houseless activism was a lot of it in the early aughts. And 2003, it started as an anti-war march, but we quickly figured out it was easier to be for something than against something. So we became a pro-peace Portland Peace Encampment and held presence for about, I don't know, from March until September, until our own individual entropy kind of drew us apart. And you give your whole self, and you're on camera from the City Hall and the Federal Building and the Wells Fargo Building. That's hard to endure forever. You can't just do it forever. And I stayed detached for quite a while, but I was very inspired with Parkland and to watch these kids and how quickly they got on their activism, and they used these new tools that we didn't have, or they were just at their very beginning with MySpace and Facebook, and I didn't really get into any of those. Anyways, thank you. It's nice to have the children inspiring us. You're mid-40s, and if you've put a lot of time in and packed a lot of experience, you need to take a little bit of a break, get some reflection. Something I have a fondness for that I would like to visit again in Olympia. They do this, it's usually around the same weekend as Earth Day. Somebody, was it you talking about sign? Okay, this was just for fun though. This was not protest or rally. And they call it the Procession of the Species. The species, having processed I find myself in the bustle of Batdorf and Bronson. Theriomorphs drift into diaspora. They will hibernate in human form. In some, it will flash, shine, shimmer as they dance and prance through the turn of days. Others will lose their wings and horns, ecstasiastically, moving in and through the mundane, muggling the turn of seasons, bipedally for a number of reasons. Next spring, awakening in the city of the gods. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. I want to remind you of a couple of things that are coming up. Just one more reminder to put on your calendar Monday, September 24th, 6 o'clock in this room, The Work, which is the poetry workshop that Chris facilitates. If you're interested in doing some writing, in generating probably 3-4 poems, at least the beginning of it, and some of them may be almost fully formed by the time you leave. It's 6 to 8:30 Monday night, this coming Monday. It's a $20 donation, and no one is turned away for lack of funds. And September 30th, the passing of the pen, Poet Laureate Gwendolyn Morgan. From Chris to Gwendolyn Morgan, there'll be a full program starting at 2 o'clock in the library Columbia Room. Library on C Street, our new library, or newer library. Everyone's welcome. It is free and open to the public, so please show up, show your support for poetry. And, put this up.
You look like Tina Turner holding that microphone.
I do. Don't make me on.
Yeah, don't encourage her, dude.
I'm a wannabe. And one day I will talk to you about my time with a band. It's there, you know, it's been in hiding for many years, so you don't want to hear me sing today, let me tell you. I am going to read a couple of my own. There are two readers left, myself and Chris. I'm going to read two, and he's going to come up and read to close out the night. This is an older poem. I have to do this. I don't like that so much, but thank you. Okay. The title of this poem is called the Fujita Scale. Ted Fujita developed this scale as a way to measure the veracity of tornadoes. So a scale like earthquakes, 1 to 5. And so they use that scale today to tell us when there's a tornado, and we don't live in tornado country, but where they do, to tell us the veracity or danger of any particular tornado. So I named this poem the Fujita Scale, and you'll see why. She is a storm chaser who seeks the thrill inside electrical strikes and sheets of rain. Her life defined by movement toward the funnel cloud, fed by spirals of energy and dust and someone's roof. He spills into her life like rain through a cracked foundation at 200 miles per hour, an F2 on the Fujita scale. His power bends her will. Chasing his wind becomes her folly as it roars above and below her soul. Their love a vortex on an empty road with sanity spinning farther away. His nature uncontrolled, like a fault line, a rock slide, a firestorm. His fist unpredicted at 400 miles per hour, an F4 on the Fujita scale. By then, doors slam, glass flies, pieces of insulation blow away. Yesterday, she was a storm chaser, seeking the thrill inside electrical strikes and sheets of rain. Today, she watches the weather behind curtains, sheer and muted blue, as he waits behind bars for the day she will drive him home in the rain. It matters to notice these things. 2 enormous crows mate in the sycamore out front, silently, shiny black wings extended. It's 1 o'clock on a Tuesday, warmest day since winter thaw, first day without socks. I want to be the crow. Eat worms and gum wrappers and mate without privacy on the front lawn. Before I can back into the street, they've finished. Lean together on the branch. First spring foliage provides little seclusion. They could care less about these things. Just off the curb I sit, stare, watch to see if intimacy exists between them, between crows. Because we humans are love scavengers, crows of emotion. We skim the surface, peck our way through the top layer of romance, unable to mine riches of the heart with tools dulled by hurt and a hard outer shell. I think about intimacy a lot these days, too much. I notice when couples don't touch. Wonder how love can possibly endure in this world. The biggest crow hops a branch, slow glide to center yard. Caw! Stares me down. I want to be the crow. Let him have my life, pay bills, feel the weight of all this nonsense. Imagine me, cawing at the neighbors, shiny black wings extended under afternoon sun. Christopher Luna.
Thank you very fucking much. Who was I talking to about this? Yeah, there are family-friendly readings. I guess I can get behind them for people that need that sort of thing or whatever. But I think a lot about how it's not our job to make people feel comfortable as artists. Yeah, probably the opposite more of the time. So yeah, so that's why we've been all ages and uncensored from the beginning. Not a single, drug dealer or violent criminal in the lot. People like my son, he's 18 now, and others who grew up with the series, doing just fine. Fine, decent people. Heard about 3 billion F-bombs since 2004. They're doing just fine. They're very fine people, trust me. This is a man's world. Never forget the lesson handed down from fathers to sons, men to boys. Fuck what you can't fight. Fuck up what you don't understand. Obliterate the other with your fists if necessary, lest you be forced to learn something, lest you be forced to own your shit. This world is yours, women, children, animals, yours to possess, patronize, toss around, tenderize. Yours to use, all of it created for your use. No need for compromise, gentleness, compassion, or understanding. No need to admit you've done wrong. No need to reflect, respect, or apologize. Your genitals, unassailable proof of your superiority, your unquestioned entitlement.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about James Brown a little bit. And my obsession with the way that we are all humans, even our genius level artists are humans, and many of them do horrible things in their personal lives. And I was talking to Reggie about this today. That is a beautiful thing, that our art transcends our humanity, and that even someone who's done horrible things to other people can write and create things that are more beautiful than the shitty, person that they can be, that we can all be. So a couple of thinking about our situation, our global and local situation, and what's going on in the world. And Reggie's book I've got a couple of poems about that. And I'll be honest, I haven't written a ton of poems about our so-called president, but I've written a few. The revolution we were promised. A black man is beat by white men wielding poles in a parking garage in Charlottesville. If you voted Republican, you voted for this. If you voted Republican, you are responsible for this. American politics circa 2016-2017. Narcissistic sociopath colludes with Russia to steal the election he lost by nearly 3 million votes, and upon winning, immediately begins dismantling all that is good about the country. Boasts about grabbing women by the pussy, expresses interest in fucking his daughter. On his phone constantly, tweeting reactionary bile in response to what he sees on TV. Racist lowlifes encouraged by the GOP to travel to campuses and parks and liberal strongholds, armed with bats flying swastika flags. Seas of white frat boys possessed by AM radio-inspired hatred, waving Walmart torches. American terrorist drives a car straight into a crowd, aiming to mow down as many people as possible. Thug-in-chief won't denounce it. White nationalists, Nazis, and white supremacists are his base. Thug-in-chief thinks provoking nuclear war is leadership. Madman with no ideology other than attaining wealth, no agenda other than obliteration. Easy to choose sides while watching old footage of piles of bodies in concentration camps, or cops beating black folks in Alabama, setting dogs upon our sisters and brothers. Easy to tell yourself, of course, you would have done something. The temperature rises to dangerous levels in defiance of willfully ignorant climate change deniers. Everyday activities are canceled, and citizens are encouraged to stay inside. When the maggots of Manifest Destiny swarm into your town, will you meet them in the town square prepared to defend your freedom? Or will you hide down in the dark, watching clips of the carnage on your gleaming screen, hoping they won't find their way to your door? And this one's about the fires. I mean, I wrote about this from the perspective of the fires that happened here in the Northwest, but we had a friend that last run of fires, I think it was the end of 2016. Ed Coletti, who some of you saw here, he was one of the features at Ghost Town a few years back, lives in Sonoma County, lost everything. Knocked on the door, 2 o'clock in the morning, you have to leave right now. And if they hadn't, like if they said, no, we're staying, he and his wife would be dead and all their things gone. Thankfully, they left and had to start over, you know, because of this. These fires that some people will say have nothing to do with how we treat the planet. And I think they're full of shit, willfully ignorant, as I said. This is called, This Is Not the Air We Were Promised. This land is no longer your land. Our heritage a wildfire that refuses containment. Like an enraged mob with a blind need to subsume everything in its path. Even World of Fire cannot interrupt our conspicuous consumption. Ash falls from the sky like slow-mo dream snowflakes, drifting slowly earthward to cover the cars, the trees, and the children. Staggering to ponder the fortitude required to stave off such utter destruction. Breathing freely becomes a challenge, the air cloaked in a haze thick enough to prevent the sunlight from reaching us. Still our response is to deny, deny, deny. Man. We heard some heavy stuff tonight, which is one of the things that Ghost Town is for, what I think all open mics should be for. But I have one that's a little bit more fun to end with and say goodnight with. It's one of these things where I was talking to Reggie about it, and I might as well let him hear what I was talking about. I think the poem is probably better than my paraphrase of the poem, hopefully. You can tell me later. And this one's also for Toni. This is a special poem for Toni as well. Our legendary musician's scorecard, a love story. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere, they're in each other all along. Rumi. For as long as I can remember, music has defined my life, providing the soundtrack for every sorrow and triumph, every accomplishment and heartbreak. Music is my religion, my way of understanding this endlessly baffling existence. Music soothes my soul, makes me weep, saves my ass, keeps me connected to the joy and wonder that is ever present everywhere, but sometimes hard to see. Music allows me to leave my body, transcend all this suffering and worry, and fly. leaves me with a lightness, an easy contentedness, an absolute delight that can only be improved upon by sharing the experience with you, my dream girl, my partner, the love of my life. Thank you for standing by my side as our souls were edified by Santana, The Pretenders, ZZ Top, The Stray Cats, Willie Nelson, Tony Bennett, David Crosby, Tower of Power, Bobby Rush, Maceo Parker, Michael McDonald, Toto, Parliament Funkadelic, Booker T and the MGs, Rush, Leon Russell, Cheap Trick, Joan Jett, Hart, Art Garfunkel, and old Naropa friends like Jason Levis, Tyler Burba, and Matt Megan. And Northwest wonders like Norman Sylvester, Lincoln's Beard, River Twain, Cosmic Dust, Maladay, Janice Scroggins, Linda Hornbuckle, Sarah and Aram Arslanian, The Student Loan, the Reverb Brothers. And thank you for the tickets to see legendary jazzmen who mean so much to me, Ornette Coleman and McCoy Tyner. And thank you for being okay with me heading out on my own to see weird, loud bands you have never heard of. Queens of the Stone Age, Deerhoof, Iron Maiden. I always dreamed of loving and being loved by a hippie girl. And when you stand behind me swaying to some sublime music, I am swept away by yet another wish you have fulfilled for me. You're not helping me to sell this right now. I really mean it. Thanks for sharing these sacred tunes with me, for enabling and accepting my eternal geekery. Thanks for dancing with me and laughing and loving together and taking such good care of me, my wife, the first and last song in my heart. And our co-host. So one of the cool things about that poem is like every couple of months, we're gonna have to add names to the list. We have this thing of, I've missed a lot of people. I have another poem that's about all the people I missed because I could have gone and didn't and they died, like Stevie Ray Vaughan and James Brown, and that list is fucking embarrassing, you know? So we're trying to get to see as many of these people that you should see before you die or they die as possible together. And to me, like sharing music with somebody that you care about is the best thing in the world, so thank you for that. So anyway, there'll be newer and better versions of the poem, hopefully. Hopefully ones where she's not laughing at me while I'm reading it. I really meant it, Okay. Thank you all so much for your time, your energy. Every person in the room, whether they read something or not, it contributes to the energy in this room and to what happens here. And we had a lot of people who read things that were tough to read or just were experiencing things that were tough while they were up here. And thank you all so much for your kindness and the love that you showed to those people and to all of us. And to my cousin, Reggie, Marra. And thank you, Reggie, for coming from Connecticut. You might have guessed that Reggie came here out of the kindness of his heart. So I appreciate those of you who bought books and those of you who may be with us tomorrow night for his workshop. That's another way that we're going to help to kind of help him recoup some of the money spent to come out here just to be with us and hang with us and see how cool Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic is. So I hope you can be with us again on October 11th. I want to say thank you to Leah Jackson, who happens to be in the room right now. Thank you. Check out the art, tip your bartenders, and yeah, come back on October 11th. Appreciate you. Thanks, Tiffany, for the YouTubes. Thank you to Scott.